Yo, what up? It's Benjamin D'Souza here, back with another video, and I really got inspiration to do this vid because of a culmination of things. One in particular, a thought that has been on my mind for quite some time is the thought of surrogacy, and how you say financing a womb to bring forth your progeny. But what really got me to thinking about this, well, for one, Kirigake Jones's most recent video, Disjointed Thoughts from Swirl Mountain. He said some hard, bone chilling, you know, things in that vid that really shit. If you sleep, it should wake you up. That should wake you up. I'm talking about ice bucket challenge type of shit. But also, what got my wheels to turning about this particular topic is I was in a chat the other day with I forgot the name of the podcast, but it wasn't the podcast. It was the one before the Grizzly MGTOW podcast from the old man, and I got into a discussion in the chat with Roger Spice. Shout out to that brother. And I was talking to him about um, BGS's one of BGS's most recent videos. Um, the system is caused. Baby mamas are caused by the system, something like that. And in that video, BGS raised three potential solutions, and one of the solutions was arranged marriage. Um, if the woman gets pregnant, she she has to give the child to the father or the father's family. And if said man, and the third was if said man breaks the hymen, he essentially he has to buy it. If you break it, you buy it. You break the hymen, you got to marry it. And not to be narrow scoped and narrow minded, but just looking at it from a far back anthropological view, all three of those suggestions I do believe has some viability. Now I know a lot of brothers might jump on me about the arranged marriage piece. I understand that. I completely understand that. But I'm looking at it from more of the Eastern concept of arranged marriages, and I'm looking at it from the aspect of my father's side, them being Caribbean, quasi Southeast Asian, if you will. So, taking an in-depth look at, how they do arranged marriages in the Far East, they don't just pick, two grown ass people who, you got one dude is out here, you know, fucking and sowing his oats everywhere, and then you got this chick over here who's just been busting it open for the past 10 years, and then some overseeing judge says, okay, now you two get together. No, they don't do it like that. You know, they essentially, from young childhood, these two families come together. One family says, hey, I have a son. We have this amount of resources. When the son gets, old enough, we're going to send him off to college to become a doctor or something. And then the other family says, cool, I have a daughter around the same age. We have this amount of resources. We're going to set her on this life path. And then what they do, they have play dates. Well, they're not really play dates, but they're like for real dates, but it's just familiarizing those two with each other from a very small age. And they dress them up in their traditional garbs, fancy garbs, and they like really go out on date. Like they really have like a controlled environment sort of date, if you will, which isn't a bad idea. That, in my opinion. I'm not saying that that should be implemented here in this case, but I can see how that particular method could be useful, because the last thing you want, if you're a father of a daughter, the last thing you want is for her to go off to college and bring some fucking you know pants, skinny jeans, wearing, face tattoo having, wannabe trap, aspiring trap rapper who don't even go to college there. He's a fucking townie. He's just goddamn, selling weed on campus and shit type of ass nigga. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing you like. He comes home with her for fucking Thanksgiving break, and she's like, "Hey, daddy, this is my boyfriend, Quantavious." What up, nigga? What up? You go to college with her? No, I work at the Walmart in town. Yeah. No, like, babe, where'd you find this nigga? No, no, daddy. You see, he's really. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's every father's nightmare right there. But coming from looking at it from a Far East perspective on how they handle arranged marriages, that kind of mitigates that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that that would be a good idea here, because I don't think that will work here, for one, because the matriarchy, the xenomorph matriarchy is so fucking strong. There's no way, no way. There's no way that you can get your son and somebody else's daughter from young ages to kind of familiarize themselves together and have play dates, and then as they grow older, they come to the fucking crescendo, and then they get married. Like, that shit's not gonna happen. Like, the overarching culture in this country is just it's too chaotic for that to happen. But I can see how that type of practice could work. But another thing he said, the you break it, you buy it. If you break her hymen, you just bought her. You know what I'm saying? And I can see where a lot of brothers, want to say, and I can see how that could work too. But what Kira Gakade Jones really brought home in his latest video really was, it really drilled it home for real. Like, shit, there's no saving this shit, man. It's no saving this, man. For real. If there was any ember of hope in my heart left for the black community, that vid just doused it. Nah, I'm just bullshitting, but yeah. And besides, it's like, nowadays, shit, I remember shit back when I started going to junior high back in 95, 96, shit, it was 12-year-old sixth graders having sex under the fucking bleachers and shit. Like, these chicks nowadays are having sex 5th, 6th grade. So, what, you gonna enforce that on, 12 and 13-year-olds? Oh, you broke her hymen, so you have to marry her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, I can see where that strategy could work, but it's like, how are you gonna enforce that on 12 and 13-year-olds? You know what I mean? Like, our culture as a people, as a collective, is just so disjointed. There's no way to corral that. That strategy would have to be if by some miracle the culture got corralled and was was on autopilot and was restructured and was on autopilot and was cruising. You know what I'm saying? But the third strategy that BGS brought forward, which really, really made my ears perk, is if a woman gets pregnant, she gives the baby to the father or the family of the father. Hold on real quick. The skunt. Okay. All right. But yeah, that really caught my attention right there. I'm like, now you're talking, and that kind of dovetails into a question and an idea that I brought forward a couple months ago about surrogate mothers. Is that a viable alternative? Because I know, a lot of people in the manosphere is talking about, stargates and, how stargates matter. And I do agree. Epigenetics. I said it one time in, I believe it was my biology class, might have been my psychology class, but I said that essentially everything that you do in life gets downloaded onto your hard drive. And upon insemination of the woman, you are essentially uploading your info onto her software. I don't know. Something like that. Hardware, software, tried to play on a sexual innuendo metaphor or whatever, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of fuckery from a wide spectrum of women, and would getting into a relationship of any kind and impregnating any woman the natural way, is that safe? You know? But you know how whimsical women are. They could change on a dime. And yeah, she could come from a strong culture and all, but I don't want to put all my horse, I don't want to bet on that horse. You feel me? And that's not a horse I want to bet on. For that bitch to stay in pocket, I'm essentially banking on her culture to keep her in line, or to instill in her some foundations to where she'll stay in line. And I'm like, I'm a bit of control. I'm too much of a control freak for that. I don't know. But I'm thinking shit, $30,000, $50,000. Go to a surrogate parenting firm where the women are vetted, where they got medical history and medical history and IQ tests and all that, to really see what they about. Pay your money, I don't know, you can finance the shit or whatever, and then you get your child. Because nothing's forever. You know, we talk about getting our mind right and our money right. Well, shit, yeah, I can get my money right all day, but if I don't have a progeny to pass it down to, then where's that money gonna go? But the Stargate, the alternative Stargate, is also a viable option for me because I'm looking at my brother, my younger brother. He's been married for what? He got married what 2011, 2010. It's what 2018 now. Quintessential suburban family. Got married to some Italian chick. Got two beautiful kids together. Live in a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs. He goes out, gets the bacon. She's a stay-at-home mom. They got a privacy fence, big ass backyard and shit. He comes home from work, dinner's ready. You know. And I'm looking at him like, damn. You feel me? Like they do corny shit like coordinated fucking Halloween costumes and shit and take pictures and shit. Like one year they dressed up. I think my brother dressed up as like Han Solo, and then his wife dressed up as Princess Layla, and then they dressed up my little nephew. I think my nephew was like maybe one and a half at the time. Dressed him up as Yoda. I said, man, that's some corny, dope shit, man. I wish I could do some shit like that. Shit, if I try to do that with a black chick, man, we gonna be shit. She already gonna have little Quantavious Jr. About to dress his punk ass up in something, fucking Darth Maul or some shit. Oh yeah, she's gonna have little Aquafina too. I'll be like, damn, what the? I gotta take on extra miles with this bitch. I gotta feed extra miles. What the fuck going on? But yeah, man. Little confession, man. My mother, she always told me this. She said, Benjamin, I would prefer. And she said this like when we was out in the suburbs and shit. I hit puberty. Little white girls started calling the house and shit. This is before cell phones. She always tell me, I prefer that you marry a black woman. And I tried to be faithful to her with that. I tried to uphold that. Really did. I put my fair share of white bitches to the sword over the years, but I ain't never got into a serious relationship with one. I ain't been boyfriend girlfriend with a white chick since the 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? But you know, my mother as she's gotten older, she's in her what mid 60s now. She's gotten more suburban, I guess, and she really sees, she's getting more sedity, more bougie, if you will. Her tastes, are, in culture and in cultural norms are changing, and she's seen what I went through with my baby moms. I fucking hate saying that shit. She sees what I'm going, what I've been through with my baby moms and shit, getting dragged down to family court and whatnot, and all this, that, and the third. You feel me? All the stresses, and you know. And then she contrasted that with the all-American apple pie, type of lifestyle my little brother's living. And she said this to me. She said this to me probably about a year ago. She said, "Now, Benjamin, I gotta be honest with you. Bring home whoever makes you happy." And I finally got it. It clicked. It clicked. And that kind of reminds me of what Babatunde Umana says about, how black women put spells on these young boys to kind of control their mind. And essentially that was a spell that my mom's was putting on me over the years about, me bringing home a black chick and whatnot. That was a spell, really was. And when she conceded and said, bring home who makes you happy, bring home whomever makes you happy, that was like her way of, retracting that spell from me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, my little bro, man, he really got hip to this shit early, man. When we moved out to the Burbs, he was still in elementary school, He was what? Second, third grade? I was what? Sixth, seventh grade? So, I was pretty inculcated into, city lifestyle. He for real wasn't. And, he always was kind of, my brother isn't weak. You know what I mean? Like his strength is expressed in different ways. Not so much of a swagger, charismatic type of way. He's got more of a reserved type of strength. But he had to been ninth, maybe 10th grade. And he wasn't as charismatic as me, so he didn't have he didn't have his way with the ladies like that. But it was this one black chick that he was digging on. He was digging on her heavy. You feel me? And she kind of like dogged him and shit. I forgot how it went, but it was homecoming. And she agreed to go to homecoming with him. And then at the last moment, she switched up and was like, "I don't want to go to homecoming with you. I'm going with, this other dude." And he was like, just ass in the wind and shit. So he had to end up going to homecoming by himself. Like, he really got played right there. And he was kind of sick behind that. You feel me? Like, he was heartbroken behind that shit. Like, she kind of dogged him out, and then kind of, and you know how black chicks get. They can't just, they got a grandstand on their way out. You know what I mean? So, for her to justify herself being a fucking flake, she had to grandstand and kind of throw my little brother under the bus and go around, talking about how he ain't, how his swag ain't this and, how he ain't that. You know what I mean? I kind of, drug my little brother's name through the mud and shit, man, And that kind of fucked him up, man, for real. After that, he ain't never dated a black chick ever again. Ever. Every chick he was interested in after that she wasn't black. I'll tell you that. And I go perusing through social media and shit. I come across a chick that played him and shit. This chick done blew up. You feel me? 2, 3 bastard kids, single. You feel me? Typical. All niggas ain't shit. My little brother up here fucking posting corny ass Russell Wilson, Sierra photos and shit, happy and shit. Now he didn't do the damn near naked pregnant photo. He didn't do that, but like the typical suburban family corny ass shit that you see. And I'm like, damn, my little bro is winning. And this bitch that played him back in high school, she ain't winning. You know what I mean? But with me, I'm like, yeah, that's all good, but I'm too, how you say, red pill to even, I wouldn't say I'm too red pill to even consider it, but I'm too red pill to blindly consider dating and procreating with any race of woman, any ethnicity of woman, in a natural sense. Like me sticking my penis up in her, inseminating her, and then she going through all 9 months, then giving birth. I sign a birth certificate and we kind of start a family that way or whatever, or we get married and start a family that way. I'm like, I'm kind of iffy on doing that with any chick. Because the marriage piece with the child, that's a big ass grenade. Now, the marriage, that's like that's not even a grenade. That's the fucking red button. You feel me, for these bitches. Now, goddamn, just marrying a bitch is a big ass grenade. Just knocking up a bitch, that's dangerous. It's dangerous. Dangerous. Because what I've experienced with knocking up a bitch is that they really go on this power trip, man. And they know they got the power. They know they got some sort of power. You give them a baby, if you play the game, they got some power. They got power over you. And given the climate of today's society, which is hyper female supremacy, is kind of seductive for a woman to embrace that female supremacy mindset. And if she got that power, who's to say she won't exercise it? And especially when you're dealing in the realm of pregnancy and a child, shit, that water gets real murky. That water gets real murky. You feel me? But shit could be all good, then she get pregnant, her hormones start changing, she had that baby, she gets stretch marks, she put on some extra pounds, she look at herself in the mirror butt naked, she like, damn, I ain't what I was before I had this baby. This nigga did this to me. How many times you heard stories of women fucking cussing their husband out during labor, talking about you did this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they know once they have a baby, it's no, they'll never be the same. You feel me? Once a human being comes down that birth canal, shit, that birth canal, which is quote unquote essentially their money maker, will never be the same. So shit, some women can, with the change and the influx of different hormones and shit, can become very resentful, and they would, want to flex that female supremacy power, wield that sword, if you will. So it's a dangerous game right there. So that's why I raised the question. I asked the brothers, so what about surrogacy? You know, and I'm not sure. I need to do some more research. I don't know if you can control what what the gender of the child will be, but given this latest video by Kirigakade Jones, he brought forth some numbers about the lopsidedness of black women compared to black men. There's vastly more black women than there are black men. And he raised the question, is this a result of gender selective abortions? Chick get pregnant and it's a man, it's a boy, so she's like, fuck it. She was already teetering on should I abort it or not, and then she see that it's a boy. She's like, man, let me head to the chop shop. We need our numbers up. So I think I've heard that there is a way, if you want to go the surrogate route, that you can control the gender. I'm not sure. Let me do some more research in that, but we definitely need to get our numbers up. Definitely. And this because this new generation, boy, let me tell you, it's looking rough out here. It's looking rough. But yeah, just a quick vid I want to make, man. Just want to raise the question to the black manosphere. Is surrogacy, should surrogacy be considered as a serious option as it pertains to replenishing black male numbers? This is Benjamin D'Souza. Like, share, and subscribe. You can contact me at one people, one nation, one destiny at gmail.com.